Well, hello folks, and welcome to video 9. Thank you once again for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the last one, and this one's going to be just a bit more on the scenics. So yeah, I've got the PVA, I've got my spray gun ready. We're going to be doing some ballasting. I'm going to be doing some more scenics on the hillsides at the back, and we're going to finish off with just a general sort of look around the layout. So hope you enjoy it, and thanks once again for joining me, and let's get on and do some ballasting. Right, I've made a start with the ballasting. It's just in there loose at the moment, but the colour mix I've got is in an old ice cream tub. I've got the Gauge Master GM115, which is the N-gauge ballast. I've also got in there some Woodland Scenics B75 fine grey, and I found about half a cupful, not even that probably, of beach sand, which has given it a bit of a yellowy sort of tinge in places, so covering all the colours of a ballast really. The beach sand has blended in really well, so I'm hoping once that's dry we'll have a nice colour ballast. So I'll come back once I've done a bit more and we're ready to add some water and PVA. For those that may not have seen my previous ballasting videos, when I'm doing the ballasting, I just put the ballast on like so, just run fingers down through the centre, that sort of thing, and just clean off the edge of the chairs like that. And then I use my ordinary paintbrush. I can go along sort of like that and just spread the ballast in, but then to get the ballast off the top of the sleepers, you just gently with the handle do that, and you can see the ballast is clearing from the top of the sleep. Sorry, I shouldn't have been talking over the tapping. The ballast is clearing over the top of the sleepers as I tap it, and that gives you a nice clean ballast look there. So that's how I do the ballasting on there like that, and then you end up with a nice neat ballast in between the sleepers, and it forms the shoulder as well. There we go. So that's the yard, and as you can see in the yard there, I've added some fine cinders over the top to darken it down a little bit, and so that's already there coming on. Okay, for those that may not have seen my previous ballasting videos, just use two simple things. We've got a spray bottle here, which has just got water and a little drop of washing up liquid in to break down the surface tension, and we've got a bottle here which is a 50-50 mix of PVA and water, again with a drop of washing up liquid just to break down the surface tension. So I'll show you now what we do, or what I do. And also just to say, I've put some bit of masking tape over the point mechanisms, so it reminds me not to dribble PVA anywhere near those. I also I've put a little bit of oil, just ordinary loco oil, in around the mechanism before I put the masking tape on, and that again ensures that water and PVA doesn't get into the mechanism. The oil sort of tends to protect it quite well. So starting round in this corner, I'm spraying from quite a way away in order to make sure I don't actually dislodge any of the ballast. So just gets a good soaking like that, and then having given the mixture of PVA and washing up PVA and water a good shake with a little drop of washing up liquid, I then just dribble the PVA on, and normally 3 runs, one down either side like so, and that's normally enough to let it go in. Obviously wider areas you need a little bit more, but that's normally enough then for it to soak into the ballast. Give that an hour or two and that will set rock hard. Okay, I came out here about 9:30, so just over an hour. Bit of preparation to be done, and then the whole layout is now ballasted. I've just got to wait for it to dry off now. It always looks a mess at this stage, but if I work my way down, you can see I've had the lights on there just to test the points, so I'll turn that off now. So yeah, just making sure the points still work as I do each one. But as I go on down, we're getting nearer to where I started almost an hour ago. The cutting there was done probably 3/4 of an hour ago or so, and then moving on around, that's the loco oil I use when I'm lubricating the points. And this is the first bit of the video, so you can see this was an hour ago now, and that is almost dry. Bit of thick bits down in the corner, but again, get a bit of warmth in the room here and that will soon dry out. Again, a lot depends on the temperature of the room at the time. So on a warm day it'll dry quicker, and if you've got a nice shed that stays warm and dry, or a loft, then it's easier. I was rummaging through my scenic box this morning and I found a tub, and it says Slater's Light Earth. So I thought, oh, I don't know how old it is, but looking at the packaging I would say it's very old. It was 38p, so but I'm going to try that on the hillside and just see how that looks to represent a bit of an earthy field. So we'll give that a go. So I've taken the hillside off from the back, and I had some green paint on my brush just now because I've just been doing a few more trees over the backside, but just a bit of PVA on here, and this is where I want to put the brown field. Just give it a try really. There'll be a hedgerow coming along the front anyway. I've got to cover that screw and that bit up there, but all those things can be done. But I just wanted to, as I say, try a brown field back here, because I think it could look quite good. Lose the brush somewhere a minute, and get a sprinkling of the powder, and we'll just doesn't have to be even. It's probably better not being even, to be fair. Probably better being a bit like that. And then as I say, the hedgerow along this front edge will hide some of it there. So right, so that's that, and then a quick misting over with a misty bottle just to help it blend in with the PVA. So we'll leave that now and see how that comes out later on. Whilst having a play this morning with the paintbrush, I've just added some more trees along that back and taken that back down more, because it ended a bit too abruptly for my liking. But here I've in the corner I've put some trees in and then put the representation of a field. Bear in mind the land here will be built up. There's the pub to go in front of there, and the road's going to go across here, so the road will more or less disappear through the trees at the back there in that corner. I may add some more trees to the right here and close that in a bit so the road disappears a bit more, but I'll look at that another day. But at the moment we've got a copse of trees along there with a field, and as I say, the land in front of it is going to be built up, and that should look quite good once it's all dried and done. Right. So I started recording this earlier, and then I realised I'd had music on whilst I was recording it, so because of copyright I've had to turn that off, and I'm redoing it. But basically a friend of mine suggested, Ian, a friend of mine suggested a rock face, or a sort of a stony sort of cutting, as opposed to all grass cuttings. and I thought, well, there might be a nice idea. So I'm trying it here. I'm experimenting. It may work, it may not. I don't know. So what I've done at the moment is just to put neat PVA on the side, and then I've got some old ballast that I saved from my Butte Road layout. When I lifted the layout, I saved as much ballast as I could, and so I'm just putting this on here now. There's some big lumps and there's some powdery stuff, so I'm going to see how it comes out. It may be total rubbish. I'm going to have to throw some on there to get it to stick in places, and I can hoover up what's loose. That's not a problem. And then I've got a greeny mixture of bits of grass. Again, it's a pot of bits and pieces, but just another bit there. I want some in there. Yeah, I've got another pot here of grassy bits and pieces, and I'm just going to sprinkle a bit of that on, and there'll be a few bushes added to that as well in time. So right, I'm going to leave it more or less like that. A little bit there, do with a bit in there. I'll tone that down if I need to later on by putting some other greens over the top. In fact, as I speak, I've got another pot of 2mm woodland scenic static grass, so I can just dab a few bits of that on there as well, just to break up the colour a little bit. There'll be bushes down in that corner there. I've already done this side. This was like the experiment bit I did earlier, so I'm going to show you that now, and then we'll move on to something else. Whoops. So there we go. So we've now got a cutting. We'll see what it looks like when the PVA is dry, but yeah, by the time there's some shrubs on there as well and some bushes, that should look quite good. And that top corner that I did earlier, that's drying out now, the field. When I'm looking at eye level, this is the camera now at eye level, so that's what I'm actually looking at from my eye. So you can see over the back there, that actually looks quite good now. And then got to do that corner, finish that off. So yeah, there we go. So right, let's move on and do the next bit. It was almost dry, and I managed to get down the shop and buy some woodland scenic light green flock, 2mm, and that's toned it down quite a bit. And I've also put on some forest blend bushes as well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way this corner is turning out. It's going to look quite good. And that's the view from back here, so once the PVA's dried and gone off, that should look quite good. The field I did at the top in the brown, that looks like a distant brown muddy field or whatever now, so that's quite good as well. So yeah, it's coming together, it's coming together. Stop the little bottle of PVA, let's go full blast. Let's use the big one, pour it straight on. So there we go, not quite real time, but it gives an idea of what I do and the way I do it. So there'll be obviously a fencing around the top of the field here, and that sort of thing. The view from eye level is down here, so this is what I can see when I'm standing. The camera is now at my eye level, so that's what we've got through there and through the back, through the cutting, so that all blends in. And there's some more bushes to go on, the same as over the top of there, that sort of thing. But again, there's more to be added over that side there as well. But I should do that, and the same as along the top of there. So just got that little corner to do now. I won't bother filming that, but just that corner to do the same as this now, really. And then I'll show you once I start adding some more bushes, etc. Time for a quick tidy up now of all my flock pots and or pots of flock and various woodland scenics and other things. I leave the labels inside the pot so I know what I've got in there. And yeah, time for a tidy up. So now, with pots of various foliages lined up, I'm going to make a start on this hillside round here, the embankment, the cutting there. I'm not going to do too much on the top because there'll be a fence line, and then the idea is that it will just disappear off into the background and to what I've already got over the back there. So that's the idea there. I've already made a start over here. I've just done a little bit more on that side there so you can see where the white PVA is, and also on this corner. So right, we'll come back to that shortly. Right folks, that is almost it for this video. I'm just going to show you around now. Everything's dried, so this is Friday morning, and if you're watching this on the Sunday, so everything I've done during the week, it's all dry nicely now. I've been round with the big hoover, an old sock. Well, I'd go out and buy brand new pop socks. I don't wear them normally, but I hoover up the dregs, and that goes into a sort of a dregs pot that I can use for just putting bits of flock or tufts of grass or whatever wherever I want to. Let me show you around the layout, show you where we're at the moment, and then we'll go and finish this video off for this week. And then, as I say, video 10, we're going to get back to some running. So there we go, the ballast now is all dry. As you can see, the rail tops still want to wipe over because I haven't had a chance to do that this morning yet, but I'll just go along with the probably a piece of wood to start with, and then maybe a track rubber to finish off. So looking along here, this is where the Prevender store is going to go, just in there. And then we've got the cutting up in the back here, and that's all dried out nicely now, and I think that's going to be quite a nice sort of scenic effect going down through the cutting there. As you can see, I've put more bushes all around the tunnel mouth at the end, and filled up all the holes, so that's all done there. And then along this side here, there's still some white bits of PVA showing up on the top, but they will dry out. Most of it is now dried out, so that comes around. The road will go across on there, and then it will go through into the tunnel mouth, and there'll be more greenery in behind there to build that up as well. And then in this corner we'll have the visual effect of the pub at the back, and then the little cottage here, and then I'm hoping to do a nice little garden here, something a little bit pretty, and do something there. and then I've got to do a cutting for around this side. I want to keep that low. Don on the RM web suggested I keep it low so they've got a nicer view in the cutting for doing filming, and I think that's a very good idea. So I'll be doing that. So there we go, that's where we're at. Hopefully next video we'll get some running done, and then another week we can get back on with some more scenics. So thanks once again for joining me, and as I always say, happy modelling, stay safe, and enjoy what you're doing. That's the main thing. If you enjoy what you're doing, you'll keep it going. If you don't, then you get a bit stale, which is why again I've got the other little project that I showed in the last video. That's going to give me something different to do if I get a bit stale on here as well. So happy modelling, stay safe guys, thanks again for joining me, bye for now.